Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
As usual, I could not decide on one story for Tea in the Streets.
As usual. I tell you why, because we have a battle. It'd be so much going on. Abigail and I be
I want to talk about TikTok drama. You want to talk about stuff on the news. You know what I'm saying? So we meet halfway.
Yeah. We have to battle it. Because she loves TikTok. I love the news. And so we like, okay, we got to keep it going.
Yeah. We got to cater to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So Tea in the Streets, we talk about things that are going on in the world, whether it be pop culture or more news, serious related things. So I actually have two stories for you guys. I'm going to play two videos for you. The first video, let's do the TikTok story first, and then we'll do the other one. So this one, we'll play that in just a second. This one is, so there's this makeup brand called Youthforia. I had never personally heard of it, but I guess it's a newer brand. And they are recently in a scandal over foundation shades.
Check this out, y'all.
I'm sure you guys know kind of the discourse if you're into makeup at all. I know not everyone is, but if you're into makeup at all.
I know a lot about this.
You understand the discourse. And I think within the past probably like 5 years, a lot more brands are trying to be more inclusive with their shade range. They'll have 20 shades for white people and then like 2 shades for people of color.
Right.
All people of color. So you know what I'm saying? So it's very polarizing, and Rihanna is actually the one who kind of really made that an industry standard.
Yes.
So I'm going to play you a quick video that goes over Euphoria's new shade.
Which side of my face is the black face paint or the Youthforia foundation? You can't tell. You know why? Tar in a bottle. A few months ago, I tried the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is what it looked like on me. I'm gonna apply some of the foundation on this side of my face so you guys can see. Enough. Who is that color? I'm literally just going in with the face paint. We're gonna do some painting. This is the darkest shade of the Youthforia foundation. This is black face paint. When we say that we want you guys to make shades for us, we don't mean to go to the lab and ask for minstrel show black. What we mean is to take the browns that you have made, create undertones, and do what you need to do in the lab so it's a darker shade of brown. This is the darkest shade 600. And as you guys can see in the bottle, literally jet black. The shade right next to it is shade 590. This is what it looks like in the bottle. Here is shade 600. You guys, there could be like 10 more shades in between these two shades. In addition to that, when we go to the actual website and we look at the swatch, not only is the swatch online literally jet black, there's literally only 4 or 5 shades for people that actually have dark complexions. Not really for black people, for being honest. Not only in 2024 is this so disgusting and disrespectful, but this needs to be pulled off the shelves.
Yes.
So I hope that when you seen this video, you were just as insulted as I was. Whether you are of color or not, this was clearly, in my opinion, just as racist. Who is skin color is that color?
Okay. There are people that are that dark.
I don't know. I've never met anybody.
I've seen people online that have really
jet black,
but it's not
jet black.
It's not.
That was exaggerated.
That was
very much.
So there are people of dark color.
Yes.
Yeah, I do 100% agree with you, but no one is jet black.
Even the jump is almost like since y'all keep complaining about it, then take
That's
this.
exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it was. Apparently, even with their marketing, there's a lot of influencers, including her, and I follow her. There's a lot of influencers who specifically will test out like the darkest shade of a brand to see, and they might not necessarily be of the darkest complexion that there is, but they're the representation that we have in the media, right? Apparently, Youthforia, the brand that released this foundation shade, they kind of did do it like, well, here's your darkest shade. They compared it to all the other, they just wanted to have the darkest shade, whether it fit anybody or not. And their marketing was to even get the girl who normally wears the darkest shade of foundation and see, it's even too dark for her. That's not inclusive.
It's giving sarcasm.
It's giving insult. You know, and so for me, I would never even purchase anything from their
heard
brand.
of you anyway.
And you never heard of them. So therefore your product ain't probably much of nothing. Right. So
it looked like the stuff they got off the street, the tar stuff they put on the street.
And I think that was their intention.
Yes, exactly. So
that is wild.
I think what a big part of it is too. So I looked up who owned the brand. I forget her name, but it's an Asian lady.
No, she don't know no better.
So let's talk about it's another piece to that.
Right. That's why Fenty's so successful, because a Black woman is the one putting out shades for those complexions. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say that other people can't, but you may miss the mark.
Yes.
And you should maybe consult people who are experts in makeup for deeper skin tones if that is something that you're going to seek out, rather than just doing it just to do it, just to feel inclusive and get the clout.
And you know what? Low key, high key, like if they don't feel the need to create shades to be inclusive, then let them corner themselves.
There you
to
go.
Those lighter shades.
Exactly.
Like we don't have to shop that, especially now that we have, because I wear
brands.
Fenty because she matches those undertones perfectly.
Right.
Yes. Especially when we have her, and then she let the other people that were willing to shift in that like we can give them our money. Why are we even begging this no name brand?
Exactly. It sounds like something on one of those. It's a no name brand.
Yeah.
You know, Fenty. I actually just tried, and I know why I'm getting on. My husband is probably over here. Y'all really talking about makeup?
He's really quiet. Right?
Probably all the men that's
place. I know how to stay in my lane.
and
Euphoria needs to figure that out.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like, why insult people? Or are you really trying to get clicks and likes or something? Because that's just so insulting. Now, in my opinion, from a business standpoint, I can't imagine anyone of color wanting to go shop with them after that insult.
And people who are allies of people of color will probably not shop anymore.
I would agree with you on that.
Maybe she just made her makeup for certain people and baby, you got it.
Keep it right there.
Yeah. There are brands that are specializing in, like you said, Fenty. Juvia's Place is another one that specializes in all skin tones.
Yes.
Stick to what you're good at. If you're not good at it, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Right.
Alrighty. Next one, we're going to move on to the next one.
So the next one is, this is a story, and we're going to bring up kind of another story in this. So this lady, she's a social worker. She disguised herself as a child and was attending high school. And it's not really, and she's in her 30s. And we're going to play a quick video on that in just a second. But I also kind of want you guys, while we're watching this, and it sounds like we haven't heard of that story. I hadn't heard of that story until Miss Carter brought it to me. But you know what was?
I keep my ear to the streets.
But you know what was all talked about? A teacher. So this lady, just for context, it's a white lady. But there has been in the media a Black teacher who had his students unbraid his hair in class, which we can talk about that too, the appropriateness of that. But everyone's talking about that when there's something that was significantly way worse happening right here in front of our face. So we'll play that video for you and then we'll talk about it.
Why would Shelby Hewitt, a 32-year-old woman with a full-time job, a car, and a condo, enroll in Boston public schools posing as a teenager? Globe magazine writer Patricia Wen wondered that too and went back to high school and beyond for the answers. Welcome, Patty. Who is Shelby Hewitt?
Well, Shelby Hewitt is someone you could have a lot of sympathy for or someone you could not have sympathy for. And in fact, lots of people don't. She's been accused of crimes in criminal court. She is accused of forgery and identity theft. But let me give you the sympathetic view of her, which is that she's a young woman in her 30s. She grew up in Sharon, a fairly affluent suburb. She was one of the poor families in that town. And through high school, sort of, had emotional difficulties, academic difficulties. And one would say then, in her becoming an imposter at a high school, it's like she wants a childhood redo. However, I do think this case does expose that she preyed upon organizations that are overworked, overwhelmed, the Boston Public Schools. Think about, too, DCF. I mean, she was working as a full-time social worker with 15 cases to manage. She's supposed to visit them every month. Like, how did she do her real job? And was anyone checking in on her?
Okay. Now, before we go any further on that, the reason why I wanted to bring this to light, because we talk about media and we talk about what the media is doing in a lot of cases. They take things that's going to make their stations go viral. even in this young lady that is trying to give backstory and commentary to, and want us to be sympathetic to this to this 30-year-old, she's saying, well, you can understand because she came from in an affluent. You see how there those look an affluent area, but she's probably one of the poorer ones, and so because of that, we're supposed to give her behavior a pass.
And let's give a sympathetic view.
Yeah,
she started with that. Yeah,
she went to school. She's in the locker room, changing clothes, doing all manner of things. However, if you notice, I believe, allegedly, my opinion, that there are other things that took place in those locker rooms with those minor kids that they're not even letting out. However, all over the media, we are jumping on the bandwagon. And I'm not saying that this teacher, right or wrong, he should be teaching our kids instead of getting his hair unbraided. But that went viral. And that is a whole issue. And we're pounding this person, but we're saying nothing. And that actually made mainstream media. The teacher, and then this one here just kind of got, a little snippet and gone. So what's your thought on that?
Well, she's clearly unstable, but I think my first thought was like, maybe she was doing like a case study or something to see like, to get data out of the schools, like what happened. That's what I thought at first. And then I actually see it and it's just like, she's
and that wasn't her first time doing it.
She's posing as a student.
Yeah.
So she needs like help. She needs real help.
And if she was doing some sort of like study or something, usually the teachers are in the loop. You know what I'm saying? There's like, and I've watched movies about stuff like that where someone does some sort of investigation.
Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore, 21 Jump Street, they do it too. Yeah.
But furthermore, how did the administrative staff miss this?
Right.
If they're enrolling kids in school and they're taking attendance and things like that, how do you at the top miss that this 32-year-old woman is in your
she
class?
She actually had documentation, and she had been in school for I think several months before, and how it all came to light. She unenrolled to go enroll in another school, and then that's when something's wrong here.
So it's given she's slow.
Yeah.
She is unstable.
She's actually very bright to be able to pull off going to school and carry a full-time job at the same time.
She knew how to take advantage of that system.
The maturity level must be really low though.
In that way.
Because I've hung out with like friends, siblings who are like seniors in high school, and I don't want to hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, you're a child. I have nothing to talk about with you.
So what do we have in common?
Right.
And why would you want to go hang out? And she was actually on the basketball team. She played extracurricular activities. So this was a whole for me.
And see, my question would be, how do you take mental health issues? How do you take mental health issues like that and make it normal?
Exactly.
Right.
You can.
Yeah.
And so for me, I just really want you guys.
How do you do that? That's
trying to make you
like
sympathize.
I
know of high school.
I'm gonna tell y'all why I felt it was important to put this up here.
Arrested development.
One, mental health is real. And it's very serious. And the other thing too, when we're so quick to jump on the bandwagon of something, just for clicks and base, think about what you're jumping on. Really look at the content of the context of what someone is doing. This young lady has issues.
Yeah.
But bigger than that, what is our media feeding us?
Yeah. The media feeds us based on whatever agenda. Or propaganda they want us to consume. That's what's going to be what's highlighted. They're not going to give us important news about what's going on in our economy, or they have it, but those stations are not popular.
Right. Yeah. And protect your children, because the big picture here is that our kids, or someone's kid, was exposed to this predator adult. And I pray to God nothing happened or was exposed to these kids. So
at the end of the day, I believe it's our fault as consumers that we consume all of this foolishness.
That's how algorithms work. You look at it shows you more of that thing. So even like
they're only giving us what we are looking for.
Right.
We like what the crazy stuff.
The crazy stuff. Wow. Very good. Okay.
Let's read some comments.
Let's go in.
Because we have some comments on that, and then we'll move on.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Wait,
Tasha P on YouTube is saying probably she was even dating the students too. Shaking my head.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
we have Richard. He said on the makeup thing that became their marketing strategy.
Yes.
And that if you're really trying to make something which others can't, you need to prove it. Some brands are just making foundations darker, but not in human shades.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Anything else?
No.
I know it's
We
coming
got a
in so
little
fast.
crazy comment, but we're not.
No, go ahead, put it up. I think Brother Carter will like it.
They said Trump voters are racist. I hate Trump.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, somebody got it. One of our first time watchers, Marlene Joseph.
Tomorrow.
The answer is tomorrow.
The answer is tomorrow.
For the riddle.
Good job, Marlene.
Welcome to the Carter Group, Marlene. That was really good.
Mike Bolton, we don't got to put up his other comment. He said something crazy. Mike Bolton, who are you? You're saying some crazy stuff in our comments right now.
Chill. It's too early for this.
All right, well, we love you guys, and we're going to move it on
have
down
all
the street.
kind on the show.
And that's one of the things that I love about the Love and Victory show. Long as you are respectful and you're not out here being hateful or ugly, we're not gonna delete your comments. We're not gonna be like, oh no, you can't do it. That's a part of all of our growth. So make sure that your comments are something that's pouring back into someone else. All righty.